Life-changing radio, WSDK. Mercy Me, You Are, I Am, from their latest on their Hurt and Healer CD. It's 7:44, 33 degrees, feels more like 23 with the wind chill. Bundle up, and if you're back to school a little earlier than you thought because of the shortened February vacation, then bundle up the kids and watch out for that black ice. Coming up, your weather and traffic together, and at 8 o'clock, we'll update your SRN news. That's followed by Truth for Life with Alistair Begg. Joining us back in studio, as always, our terrific friend, Pastor Deryk from First Church of Christ. Welcome, Pastor Deryk.
It's good to be here.
Welcome
good to
back.
be here.
So you are going to be escaping the
I'm
wilds
south,
of
yes.
winter
Yes.
in a couple of weeks. So we won't. Sadly, we'll miss you in studio in a couple of weeks. We like to see you every couple of weeks here on a Wednesday.
Well, we'll figure something out.
We will figure something out.
Yep.
But tell us where you're going.
Well, I am going further south than Florida, further south than the islands. I am going to Peru.
Wow.
And one of the things we did a few years ago as a church is we started working with Compassion, and we established what we call church-to-church relationships.
Right.
And there's actually, in Compassion, there's only 65 churches that do it in the United States.
Really?
So we're very, very few that do it. And where it really centers around is when you sponsor a Compassion child, that child is goes to a school that is put on by a church. It's a sort of an after-school program where they learn everything from physical health to mental health to spiritual health, all of those things, how to get them out of poverty, and they look long-term how to do that. And so when someone sponsors a child, that child goes to a church, just like the church we sponsor. And the rule of thumb for those churches is they're not necessarily church members. I think in the church that we work with, 90% of the children, so probably over 220 of the kids that go to that school, are children that come from the neighborhood. They have to be the poorest of the poor.
Yeah.
So they can't be sort of this is a great daycare center. It's the poor of the poor. And the church just loves on them. I mean, it's awesome to watch when you go see it because they really do pour out their hearts. And what happens is, I'll look at it from a few perspectives, is this really allows the church to reach out into the community in a deep and dynamic way because those children start coming to church. The parents start seeing how this church is loving their child and wants, who is this God that this church would follow to do this? Now, as we as sponsors come in, we get to sponsor that child, help that child to go through. That gives them free medical insurance up till they're 18. Wow. That gives them, every time that they go to the daycare program, they get a full meal.
Which may be the only meal they get that day.
Yeah, some kids in a lot of countries like that only get one meal a day, and they make sure that the meal is a high protein meal. So they get meat and all that other stuff because they want to make sure that the children get their nutrition.
Right.
And so it's just great to partner with them, but it's even greater to. Christy and I sponsor 2 children.
Great.
Yamil and Jeremy, and we get to go down. I get to go down and see them, and it's just a joy to go down and see them. I mean, it's to me, it's one of those great things. Is the first day? I always look forward to the first day because they come out en masse. So if you think of 200 kids that are there and they just welcome you, and you just run right into them and just get bear hugged by all of them. They're so excited to see you, and it's I've gotten to know them over the years, so I know a lot of the kids.
Right.
And it's great as someone who sponsors children with Compassion to go and visit your child and to see firsthand, because I know a number of our listeners support Compassion children, see firsthand what happens when people send a letter down, what happens, how they do this. It's so over the top. Awesome.
And it's an opportunity to do that kind of world outreach and missionary work from your home.
Right.
You don't really have to do that much. It's what, a $30, $40 commitment a month.
Yes.
You can write a letter. And,
Yes.
We've done that for years. I think we sponsored a child in Haiti for a long time. And it was actually, they colored pictures for us. And we sent pictures back and letters. And then there's a birthday. You can, if you provide like $5 more, it gets them like a coloring book or a soccer ball or something that is so precious to them. And then we got a letter once that said, our child is grown and out of the program. Thank you very much. Would you like another one?
Yes.
I'm like, oh. Yeah. And 12 years had gone by.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we kind of
Yes.
lifted that kid from elementary
Out of
school.
poverty.
Yeah.
You really did lift that kid out of poverty, because the compassion program is so good at doing that, to give them a long range, what gets them into poverty,
Right.
and how do you get out of it? Not just move out of the neighborhood, but the issues of poverty that are affected in those countries. A lot of it is understanding spiritual poverty,
Right.
emotional poverty, where they think that they're not worth it. They don't think that they're
Right.
anything better.
Right. It's not just feeling hungry or
It's
not
not
having
that.
more than 3 clothes.
Exactly.
Right.
And so also with this, they feel like they can do it. This is the difference between American children and children there, is American children have been given the world, if you will.
Right.
And they say to themselves, and rightfully so, I can do this.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping me from doing this. Children in third world countries don't have that privilege. Right. They just don't know that
They
can
can't
do
even
it.
think outside.
They can't think of. For them, it's, can I make it another day? It's not like, what am I going to do when I'm 25? It's, can I make it to the end of the month?
Right.
Will I live to the end of the month for some of them?
Goodness.
Or, I won't be able to do anything more. I'm just going to have a potato, a few potatoes
For this
every
week.
every day. And they learn that there's more. God has gifted them. they're worthy of it, and they can do it. And as a sponsor, you have the opportunity of saying, you're worth it.
Yeah.
You are. Yeah, I'm coming down to see you. I'm writing letters to you because I think you're worth it. I think you can do phenomenal things, and it's just so great to see them. I
Are
mean,
you
it really
allowed,
is.
when you go down and visit the village or the church, and you guys sponsor 2 kids, are you able to bring like an extra gift or something?
We bring basically a backpack full of gifts for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we really.
And so what will that do? Do they request these gifts, or
No.
You're not bringing them like a box of Twinkies or something, right?
No, I wouldn't bring them Twinkies because they would.
Here's a Twizzler.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, no, we obviously we bring toys and stuff.
Okay.
Our children
Clothes,
are 5.
maybe a shirt, shorts,
That we bring
shoes, maybe.
shoes.
Yeah.
Part of that is you got to know exactly what the shoe size is. We bring clothes, dresses. We bring stuff for the family because we've gotten to know the family, so
good.
it's a way that we can help out the family.
Nice.
Christy and I also we make sure that the pastor and his family are taken care of, so we
very
do
nice.
special gifts there. But
You guys are bringing a lot down there.
oh
Huh?
well, you know what?
Rent a
It's-
donkey or something.
When I see what's going on down there,
you
and
wish you
see
could
what
bring
you
more,
have-
I'm sure,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
sort of like,
bring enough.
No, you can't bring enough,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where you have to stop yourself and say, I don't want to spoil this child.
Right.
So
I'm not
much.
Santa Claus.
Yes,
I'm someone
yeah.
who cares for them
Yes.
and is meeting them where they are
Yeah.
with people who
Right,
are
right.
loving on
Yeah.
them in their neighborhood every day.
Right, and the point is actually the gifts aren't really what matters. I mean, the
Right.
gifts are great, but
Sure.
when they come, I've heard it so many times now from the kids. You came all the way from America to see me,
Right.
and it just is. Yeah, I guess I did. I mean, because we don't think that way. We
Right.
just say we're excited. We want to go down. We want to
Right.
hang out with the kids. We want to love on the kids, and they are just overwhelmed by that. Wow. And for those you who sponsor, write letters to your children because
it makes a difference.
It really does make a difference. And for them, they read it. People don't understand how much they cherish it. I get to watch what happens, and they actually share the letter with all their friends. Look at what my sponsor said.
Yeah.
Look at what my sponsor said. Here, look at my sponsor's family.
Oh,
It's
there's a
really
picture.
a community. Oh yeah,
Right,
they share the picture around. They get so excited about saying that, and it just lifts them up because for them they go through the day-to-day stuff and they never see any hope, and that letter comes and there's hope right there. And it's great.
And
it's
it's
a
more.
great,
It's beyond that pen pal relationship.
It is.
It is someone who really does care for them, and you pray for their kids. I'm
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
And not only that, your church
Right.
sponsors that church
Yes.
or works with
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
And now you're coming to visit them to say, "How are you doing?"
Yes, and that is the other thing is that we're enabling the church right there to spread the gospel in that community. People don't understand that that's the extra thing that they're doing there, but it's through the compassion program that they're able to help the community, but also give the gospel to the community.
Because that's going to give them the ultimate hope.
Exactly.
Then they can do whatever they can.
It's
whatever they've been gifted with.
It's phenomenal. It's
That's
phenomenal.
great.
I'll just end with one story with that is that when we were there, we one of our translators' name was Moppy, and we got to know her. She's actually a nurse now. She grew up in the program.
Wow.
And so she felt like I can
Kind
do
of
this
giving back
there.
now, right?
But what I found out a year later was her sponsor went to our church.
Oh,
And
wow.
so They just said, "Oh yeah, I'm going down to Peru," and we sponsored a child in Peru, and went into it. Yeah, her name was Moppy. I'm like, Moppy?
You know Moppy.
I know Moppy.
Oh,
So
goodness.
and anyway, she came to the U.S. Moppy came to the U.S. because she did some speaking for Compassion.
Good.
And I still remember seeing the Facebook post from her where she says, "I'm going to see my sponsor family. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I can't tell you how excited I am. I can't even think straight." And it just was from that. I knew the family and I knew Moppy, and Moppy was so overwhelmed with joy about this family who had reached out to her. She just couldn't contain herself.
Right.
The excitement of seeing someone that loved her, walked with her for years. It just was awesome to see the other side of it, and to be able to her to walk up and say, "I am who I am in part because of you."
Right.
It really is just, and for every person that sponsors a Compassion Child, you can do the same thing.
Right.
It's great.
And for the cost of 10 coffees a month.
10 coffees a month. It's really,
Then-
it's short change when you consider
Exactly.
what you give
Right,
to a
'cause
child and what you give to that family of that
Exactly.
child and that church.
And groups like Compassion and World Vision, they really make those dollars stretch.
They do.
They really do that the best.
Yes.
And that's why they're success.
That's exactly.
Well,
they're great with it.
Godspeed on your trip then.
Thank you.
And send us some photos.
I will gladly do that.
We'll post those,
Yes.
and we'd love to see
Yeah.
You and your adopted
Yes.
kind of
yeah.
sponsored
It'll be with
kids down
lots
there.
of kids around me. That's
Oh,
for sure.
okay.
Yes,
I
we
think
have
we'll
fun.
be able to pick you out.
Yeah.
though. That's, just in case, draw an arrow. Or
Yeah, just I'll
circle.
draw an arrow. This
Just
is
in
me.
case.
Yes.
Where is that Deryk? He's there somewhere. Oh, he's the only one named Deryk. That'll work. It's 7:55 and 33 degrees. Feels like 23. Let's get one last look at your weather and traffic together. Randy Berkson and your WSDK.